The humor was also something I loved from the first game. Sarcastic, dystopian in tone, and one that was also able to kind of ground itself when it needed to. How do you get that balance? Like, when do you know when to take a step back and not let the humor go too far?
To a certain degree, it's kind of just how I approach this stuff. My games have always had this kind of humor. It's kind of like in the DNA of games me and Tim have made in the past. It's a little easier for me because the goal I'm aiming for is like really based around things that me and Tim find funny. So when we think it's funny, it's kind of like, oh, we know we've landed. Luckily, a lot of people seem to share my sense of humor. I guess the best way to put it is like a real combination of like, I have a very dark humor kind of worldview, and Tim, my co-game director on the first game, has a very silly, absurdist kind of worldview. So when we're working on this stuff, it's just like if we're coming up with something that's like leaning more towards the silly end of the spectrum or the absurd, we're always like, okay, why does this matter? Why is this something that's going to give the player more information, help the player understand the world more, make the experience deeper, and not just be something that's funny? And likewise, if we're getting something where it's just like we're dealing with some real serious themes, it's just like, okay, how are we going to bring some of that absurdity into that? How are we going to bring some of that really dry humor into that situation? If you go too far into the silly realm, it's just like, well, why do I care? This is just like, it's fun, it's funny, but why do I care about any of this? And if you go the other way, because we do deal with such dark dystopian themes, it's just like, it's not fun. It becomes very kind of like oppressive. So it's really finding that balance between them.